Today, we're diving into a story that has taken 6 long years to reach this turning point, and make no mistake, it is absolutely massive. Prince Harry has finally achieved a breakthrough in his relentless fight for proper security protection. After years of pushing against a system that at times seemed designed to leave him, Meghan and their children vulnerable, the UK Home Office has agreed to conduct a full and comprehensive risk assessment. This moment isn't just about logistics or policy. It's about what it reveals about the monarchy, the government, the politics of punishment, and the lengths Harry has had to go simply to keep his family safe. Let's unpack it all. For 6 years that spanned court battles, public statements, political debates, and endless media spin, Prince Harry has been fighting for something that should have been straightforward: basic, consistent security protection. 6 years of refusals, bureaucratic, stonewalling closed-door decisions, and a system that responded to Harry not with fairness, but with punishment. The Home Office's Ravec Committee, the group responsible for determining security for royals and VIPs, repeatedly refused to give Harry the level of protection he needed and deserved. Not once, not twice, but over and over for 6 years. And here's what the British public was rarely told. This wasn't Harry demanding special treatment. He wasn't asking for taxpayer-funded bodyguards. He offered to pay for his own protection. But the system didn't care. Because the truth is, this was never about cost. It was never about protocol. This was about politics. Let's be absolutely clear about Harry's situation. We're talking about a man who served 2 frontline tours in Afghanistan, was directly targeted by extremist groups, has had intelligence assessments confirming ongoing threats, lost his mother, Princess Diana, in an incident where inadequate protection played a fatal role. If anyone in the royal sphere understands the dangers of insufficient protection, it is Prince Harry. Security experts have been clear for years. Harry's profile, service record, visibility and global platform make him a permanent, high-value target. But while the threats grew, the protections diminished. One of the most respected voices in UK counter-terrorism, Neil Basu, spoke publicly something extremely rare for someone in his position. He stated, "Harry remains very close to the top of the list of individuals who require protection. His threat level has not decreased since 2019. Any incident involving Harry would trigger massive global repercussions. Harry requires full-arm protection, not piecemeal arrangements." When a former counter-terrorism chief is saying this publicly, you know the situation is serious. And yet, Ravec's answer remained no. Under the arrangement imposed on him, Harry had to apply for protection for every single individual visit to the UK. There was no continuity, no long-term plan, no stable assessment of the threats, no guaranteed protection for his children. Think about that. Every time he planned to visit his home country for a funeral, an event, or even to see family, he had to negotiate the safety of his wife and children. Imagine being told, "You may visit, but we can't guarantee we'll keep your children safe." A system intended to provide protection had become a system that created risk. Harry fought back. His legal challenge, widely mocked or dismissed by certain media outlets, turned out to be one of the most important decisions of his life. Because the lawsuit forced something the government never expected: transparency. Under scrutiny, their contradictions were exposed. A lack of consistent criteria, decisions without documented reasoning, processes that changed depending on who was being discussed, a system that acted arbitrarily and politically. Harry's legal team uncovered a truth the public was never supposed to know. The framework introduced in 2020 after Harry stepped back from royal duties was flawed from the beginning. It wasn't designed to assess risk. It was designed to send a message. And that message was simple. You left, you don't deserve protection. This was punishment disguised as policy. Look closely and the pattern becomes obvious. When Harry stopped participating in royal duties, when he began speaking openly about racism, bias, media abuse, and institutional failures, suddenly his protection was downgraded. Not based on security needs, but based on the politics of disapproval. This wasn't a rational security process. It was political retaliation. And for 6 years, Harry has lived with the consequences of that decision. Now we come to a sensitive but important piece: the role of King Charles. Reports say that after more than a year of minimal communication, Harry and Charles reconnected privately in early autumn. A meeting took place in September, their most meaningful contact in over a year. Some sources believe Charles played a quiet role behind the scenes in pushing for a resolution. And if that's true, it would represent a father trying to ensure his son's safety, something that should have happened from day one. But the context matters. Charles presided over the period when Harry's protection was stripped. He said nothing publicly as the situation escalated. He allowed the government's stance to stand even though the monarchy's moral authority is directly tied to protecting their own. If there is renewed involvement now, it reflects institutional pressure, political scrutiny, public perception, and the damage the monarchy has faced by appearing cold, distant, or indifferent. This sudden shift didn't appear in a vacuum. It appeared because maintaining hostility toward Harry is no longer sustainable. For over a year, there have been hushed references to Project Thor, a quiet internal effort to improve relations between Harry and the palace. Why now? Because the monarchy has realised something. Harry and Meghan's global influence is significant. They resonate far beyond the UK. Their absence hurts the monarchy's international relevance. Maintaining a feud is politically costly. Even senior ministers, like the Foreign Secretary, are said to have shown renewed interest in resolving the issue. When you see multiple branches of power suddenly shifting position, it tells you something. This wasn't about protocol. It was always about politics. And the politics have changed. Now, after 6 years, Harry has received formal notice. The Home Office will conduct a full, comprehensive risk assessment. A decision's expected next month. For the first time in years, Harry might have stability, a predictable security framework, guaranteed protection for his family, the ability to visit the UK without risk. This is not a gift. This is not a compromise. This is what should have happened in 2020. And yet it took a lawsuit, public pressure, international scrutiny, expert testimony, media exposure, and Harry's refusal to give up to force the system to do what it should have done from the beginning. This entire saga exposes several uncomfortable truths. The system is not transparent. Decisions can be political, not rational. Punishment can override protection. The monarchy is deeply vulnerable to public perception. Those who speak out are often penalised. Harry's battle shows that challenging an institution, especially one as powerful as the British monarchy, is not just difficult, it's dangerous. But he did it anyway, because protecting his wife and children mattered more than appeasing an institution. A recommendation is only weeks away. If justice prevails, if expert opinion is finally respected, Harry will receive the protection he has always deserved. He will finally be able to bring Meghan, Archie and Lilibet to the UK without fear. He will be able to visit family safely. he will be able to return home with dignity. But even if this process ends in his favour, it will also stand as a stark reminder of how hard he had to fight, of how long the system resisted, of how willing powerful institutions were to leave him vulnerable, and of how vital it is to speak truth to power. Harry's courage, his determination to demand fairness, forced a reckoning. This breakthrough is proof that truth, persistence and accountability can move even the most entrenched systems, even the British monarchy. So, there you have it. After 6 years of refusals and resistance, Prince Harry has achieved a genuine breakthrough. A full security review is finally underway. If you found this video informative, please like, comment and subscribe. Your support helps us continue bringing clarity, truth and context to stories the mainstream often distorts. Do you believe the system will finally do right by Harry? Let me know in the comments below. Stay tuned, the next few weeks will be critical. And remember, truth always wins in the end.